All right, everybody, I am back with a brand new DC update, and I've been kind of absent because no sooner did I get released for physical therapy last week, but I got sick that night, and I have been battling it for the last week and a half. You can probably hear it in my voice, but I am ready to finally get back to doing some updates. And today's video is going to be based off of one topic specifically. If you guys didn't know, two major trailers were released over the last 48 hours. We first had the Fantastic Four trailer from Marvel, and today was Universal's Jurassic World Rebirth. And boy, have the people been talking about this on social media. And I'm also going to show you some of the engagement, and I'm going to show you one photo that shows you the engagement. Now, a lot of people have been asking me to do trailer reactions. Unfortunately, I didn't have the opportunity to come in here and do trailer reactions. I'm still having a hard time sitting in my studio for a long period of time. I'm hoping that changes here over the next 2 to 3 weeks. I would like to be back in here long term and be able to move things around. You can see the figures behind me are kind of messed up. So I've got to fix a lot of stuff in here, but quite frankly, I'm learning to walk again right now, which is not as easy as it sounds after an injury like what I've had. So that's all I can really talk about at this stage, but I want to talk about both of these trailers because you guys know my feelings on Superman at this stage. I think everything that Warner Brothers has done for Superman has done a disservice to the character to get people excited. The first reveal was Superman, sitting down, his clothes are kind of charred, and it looks like he's putting his suit on. It was just a weird first look at Superman. You had the trailer come out, and it was the most mid-trailer I think I've ever seen for a superhero film. And if you could sit back and you can look at it objectively, and I'm being very honest. This has nothing to do with my dislike of Gunn or what direction he's taking things in. I just think it's a poor trailer. Superman is beat down, depressed the entire trailer. There's nothing to get you excited. There's no hope in the trailer. You just have one kid saying Superman. There's no dialogue. All they did was try to get you with nostalgic music in there. That's all it is. If you take the music out of it and you look at it for what it is the most boring, uninteresting, doesn't do anything to get you excited to go see the film. So then you had the Fantastic Four trailer come out, and everybody was very curious about this. And it finally got released, and I was pretty dang surprised by it. There are basically 4 major films coming out this summer that I was somewhat interested in. I am most interested in Mission Impossible. I can't wait to see the trailer for that second film. I think we've already seen one of them. I'm excited for that second film with Dead Reckoning. That's my number one want-to-see film this summer. Jurassic World is part 2, and we're going to talk about that trailer today. Then it was Superman, and then it was Fantastic Four until I saw the Fantastic Four trailer. And they ripped these characters directly out of the comic books. Now, I'm not sold on Richard Reed, by Pedro Pascal. I'm not sure that translates well. Pedro Pascal is all of a sudden he's being put in everything, whether he's right for the character or not. I would have liked to have seen John Krasinski come back. I thought that was brilliant casting. I think you would have gotten a lot of people excited if you brought him back as another version of Mr. Fantastic or whatever his name is. I'm not a Marvel person. I did read some Fantastic Four comics when I was a kid, but I am by no means an expert on the Fantastic Four. But the films that they've done over the years, over the last 10 to 15 years, have just not been good adaptations. What I really liked about this trailer is it showed you just enough to get you curious. It showed Galactus in a few shots, and what I really liked was the Thing, the rock guy. Man, the CGI on that was spot on. Like, it looked pretty freaking awesome. And so that trailer got me a little excited, and it bumped it above Superman. Now, you have to understand, I'm a DC guy. And I posted on Twitter yesterday that if you base it just based off of the trailers, I would spend my money on the Fantastic Four before I did Superman. That's pretty freaking sad. It shows you how far Warner Brothers has fallen. They have a lot of work to do with the general audience, with the fans. Now, there is a very small, loud group of people on social media who are going to tell you it was amazing. It had 25 million views. It's had all this engagement, yada, yada, yada. We're going to look at numbers here in a minute, and I'm going to talk about something very interesting that, again, goes into the fake hype. They can say whatever they want. It doesn't make it reality. It doesn't make it reality. And it doesn't matter how many views it had on YouTube. There are lots of projects that have lots of views on YouTube and then tanked at the box office or on TV. It's happened. That is not a good gauge on how well it's going to do at the box office. Now, this morning, the Jurassic World trailer got released. And holy crap. So I played this on my phone, and I thought it was pretty good. But then what I did is I watched it again, on my monitor here, and wow, does it look pretty good. I like where they're going with the story. I think it's adding another story element, something we haven't seen with Jurassic Park, where they actually had another island where they did all the testing on, and that's where kind of all of the rejects and the stuff they couldn't use or were horrible stayed on that island, so they couldn't get away, and they were never featured in the park, which there's one shot of something that people are saying is like a cross between an alien hybrid with a rancor from, Star Wars and something else. Like it's a mix of all these different characters, and it's a very quick shot. Like you have to pause it to see it. But it's going to be interesting. It's going to be a little bit of horror, but there also looks like there's a lot of action in there where they're like on a cliff in like a almost like a pyramid type thing inside the side of the island, rocks and rooms and stuff, and they're doing rappelling and some other stuff, and it looks pretty intense. It looks pretty good. Now, there was one bit of dialogue in the trailer I didn't like. It's when one of the characters is talking about all the bad things that some of the dinosaurs in the water can do, and Scarlett Johansson was like, none of those things are good. Well, obviously, none of those things are good. It was weird to hear her say that because it just didn't fit. There's also a possibility that wasn't actually in response to what he was saying. They've done that in trailers before where you'll hear somebody say something and then there's a response, and then in the movie, it's not part of the same scene. That's a possibility as well. But what's interesting, and if people don't know this, both Fantastic Four is shot on film, and Jurassic World is also shot on film, which hasn't been done in a long time. Superman is going to be the first Superman film shot digitally. And I'm happy to see more and more filmmakers going back to film. Film has a look to it that digital cannot give you. And I tell people, if you want that true original film look, you have got to use film, okay? And I'm happy to see that Marvel is doing that, Universal is doing that. And after seeing all of this stuff, yeah, I'm more excited for the other films than I am for Superman. Could that change? It could. But I have yet to see Warner Brothers do anything that's going to get me excited to see Superman. The costume looks freaking horrible. The trailer, Superman was beat down and depressed the whole time, having cancer on his head, beat up. There was no hope in that trailer. It doesn't get you excited to want to go see that character. The music was cool, but that was it. And so we didn't hear any of the characters say anything. I think Warner Brothers is doing a piss-poor job on promoting Superman. Now we're supposed to have the summer of Superman coming up, and they're supposed to be hitting, the advertising pretty hard. It better be good advertising. It cannot be a bunch of mediocre stuff like what they've done up until this point. I think Jurassic World Rebirth did it right. This is the first thing we've seen. They released a few stills the other day, and it ended up being awesome. Fantastic Four, this was also our first look. There was a little bit of a teaser the day before, but we finally get our first look at it. Fantastic Four may end up sucking. Jurassic World may end up sucking. We just don't know. Superman may end up sucking. They all may end up being amazing. And I will be seeing all of these films in July and doing reviews on them. I just don't know how these films are going to pan out. And I do go into every film as a blank slate, and I will tell you guys if they're good or not. Now, let's look at a photo here on the engagement of these movies, and this was prior to the Jurassic World trailer being released this morning. So this person, Graham2, posted, I don't want you guys to see my reply yet, posted, holy crap, and it showed the 3 movies that have been talked about over the last couple of days. All under entertainment trending, and you can see that Jurassic World, prior to the trailer coming out, had 12.5 thousand posts. Superman had 28.2 thousand posts. And Fantastic Four had 5.8 thousand posts. Now, my response to this is Superman is definitely higher than the other 2. But this is why they changed the name of the film. I said this highlights the fake hype in a big way. And I told people this is why Gunn changed the name of the film. The hashtag Superman encompasses way more than the film. And it does. It encompasses way more than just the movie. This encompasses comics, merchandise, all kinds of stuff that has nothing to do with the Superman film. But they want to be able to use it to count it as engagement. That is not, in reality, how popular the movie is going to be. It's just not. Fantastic Four, obviously, Jurassic World and Fantastic Four were not trending prior to this at all. You know that the traffic for those does have to do with the trailer. And I'm surprised Fantastic Four wasn't high. And keep in mind that this Jurassic World was prior to the trailer coming out. Fantastic Four was also right after the trailer came out. I don't know what it is currently, but again, this is why James Gunn changed the name of the film from Superman Legacy to Superman, so that they could claim that the engagement was higher than it actually is. So there you guys have it. More reality. I'm going to continue to bring you the news and talk about these things as we get closer. Be honest. Chime off down below what you're most excited to see this summer. And how would you rank these 3 films? Now, what's interesting is tomorrow there's a Smurfs trailer getting released. I didn't know there was a new Smurfs movie coming out, but apparently there is. One of my daughters she loved the Smurfs when she was little. We went and saw all the films. I'm curious to see how this new one is going to be. It was something I used to watch as a kid, so I doubt I'll go see it at the theaters. It's something I'll probably check out when it's on streaming, unless my daughter wants to go see it, but she is much older now, so we'll see. All right, guys, so there's my update for the day. I do appreciate the support. We will see you on the next video.